Welcome to another edition of Mike on MMA. Today I'm going to be reviewing UFC 163. This was in Brazil, and pretty much everybody was a Brazilian fighter, at least one of them in each one. But the first fight was John Lineker and Josie Maria. Now this was the battle of the Mohawks because for some reason they both had Mohawks. I don't even think they both had Mohawks in the weigh-ins. Only one of them did. So the other one must have just cut it right before. But this was a good fight. It was back and forth a lot. At one point, John Lineker looked like he was about to get knocked out, but he was all wobbly from a spinning back fist and just kept coming forward. They should change his name to the Brazilian Zombie because he kind of used that same thing where he just gets all retarded and just keeps coming forward. But he came back and he won. He got a little TKO. It was good. Little knockout on the ground. Second fight was Tallies Ladies versus Tom Watson. Now, I thought Tom Watson was going to keep it standing a lot more. I mean, you wouldn't want to go to the ground with Tallies Ladies, seeing that he's so good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but they kept getting to the ground. Not so much Tom Watson's choice, but they're battling back and forth. It was just basically Leites just held him. He got him on the ground and just pulverized him for the most part. He cut him open really bad, and he was bleeding all over the place. I thought Watson would have done a lot better, especially when they got back up. He kept initiating the clinch, which was stupid because every time he did that, he was getting taken down, and every time he was taken down, he was just getting either mounted or back mounted and just getting pulverized. It was a good fight all around, but man, Tallies Ladies just dominated on that one. The third fight of the night was Cezar Ferreira versus Thiago Santos. I'm reading a thing right below the camera if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Cezar Ferreira, all he did was come up and he just took him down and he submitted him in 47 seconds. It's the third fastest submission in the UFC, so it was ridiculous. They looked like they were roly-polies. They're rolling around all crazy, and then he just ends up in a triangle and chokes him out. It was pretty badass, actually. Moving on to the next one, we got Lyoto Machida versus Phil Davis. Now, this was a little bit controversial because, for one, Phil Davis won. A lot of people are saying Machida won because he was winning the majority of the round, but then towards the end, Phil Davis would take him down and then beat him on the ground for like a minute or so. But I mean, if you leave it into the judges' hands, they're going to be looking at what looks most effective. Machida was jumping in and out, hitting him here and there, but he wasn't doing a lot. He hit him a bunch, but getting taken down is obviously high scoring for judges. And then after taking them down, just beating them on the ground and holding them there for like a minute, that's the stupid cat making noise. But that's a lot of points where, I mean, you can't think that you're going to win if you're just going to be sitting there and just, it's not going to do much for you. If you're just sitting there, just tapping him a little bit, he didn't even look like he had no physical damage to his face or anything. So I mean, it really could have went either way, but I see how Phil Davis won. I don't know why everybody's bitching about it. He won by getting the more solid action. Now the main event, which was Josie Aldo against Jung, the Korean Zombie. This fight was actually, I thought, was going to be a lot more exciting. It was a lot more of them just standing off and throwing a few hits here and there. It almost looked like they were both too scared to engage against each other because you never know what the other one's going to do. It started to pick up a little bit in the third round. They both started, throwing a lot more, but when it came to the fourth and then it comes to the finish, that's where Krymzon throws a wild haymaker punch and just pops his own shoulder out. He tries to continue fighting with one arm, with a pop shoulder, and then, Aldo notices that, comes up, nails him as he goes down to the ground. He holds the arm he held his arm like this underneath him so that his shoulder is probably getting even more pressure on it. Now, doing that, I mean, that's kind of a dick move, but I understand that you're trying to retain your title, so I'm pretty sure anybody would do that. but I don't think it's like one of his better wins. It was kind of a weak fight. They didn't do that much, really. I think the 4th and 5th round would have been a lot more interesting, and I think they would have picked up the pace a lot more, because I think they felt each other out the first two. The third one started to pick up. The 4th one, he popped his shoulder. So, I mean, 4th and 5th, I think, could have been great rounds. But it is what it is. All around, it was actually a really good pay-per-view. Brazilians always bring fighting crazy. And it's always, this was like the night of finishes. Almost every single freaking fight was a finish. It was amazing. Other than that, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this one. I'm looking forward to Fox Sports 1. Those are going to be some good fights on there. Next, what is it, the 17th is Chael Sonnen and Shogun. That's going to be pretty good. I'm looking forward to that. But I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.